Hello and welcome to another video. I'm Paul, this is Out Nerdy, and today, the Peacemaker episode 4. Right, I said in the last three episodes, the last video where the 3 episodes, that it was a bag of shit, an absolute wank. Don't get me wrong, there is still a lot about this that is not great. But, as I said at the end of the last video about the Peacemaker, maybe they'll just pull it out of the bag, and end up giving us something good. Maybe that will happen. And this show, at least for me, like I said, if you love fart jokes and you love dick jokes and stupid, out of place humour, this show's for you. But having said that, episode 4 was a lot better. Was actually in places quite enjoyable. It surprised me that it could be that. Yeah, I said in the last video, in episode 2, that he was trying to get his father's approval and his father's love, and they play into this quite a lot in this episode. There's still a few bits that are unbelievable, and we'll get to it. But one of the interesting things for me was the father-son relationship. Let's just get it there. Let's get it out there. I'm not saying I enjoy their dynamics, but they play on why John Cena's a dick. I don't agree with what they're saying, because they seem to be going down the nurture versus nature and all that. Now, I don't. Every single one of us has had some shit or some bad thing happen to us, to varying degrees and varying degrees of shitness. And it's like, we don't all fall to bits, we don't all become drug addicts, we don't all take to beer, we don't all take to becoming bad people if bad things have happened to us. So I don't really agree with what they were trying to say, but I did like what was going on. We find out that his dad had started training him to kill from when he was very, very young. We find out that something happened to his brother. We do see a bit at the end, but we don't see all of the story of what happened. And what they did do was they humanised John Cena's character, the Peacemaker. They humanised him to a degree where he wasn't an insufferable dickhead. Don't get me wrong, the silly TikTok fucking opening, can't stand it. Thank Christ we can skip that kind of shit now and fast forward. We have, in the first 3 episodes, his team didn't respect him at all. They continually and openly mocked him. To some extent in this episode that changed quite a bit. Whether it's because they are seeing how they may need him will remain to be seen, or whether it's just to manipulate him. And there is quite a lot of manipulation going on here. We have a diversity hire, obese black lesbian woman. Obviously she's a woman, she's a lesbian. No, dickhead. But her character, she has possibly the best working relationship with Peacemaker. And she tells him she doesn't think he's a complete moron, he's just a product of the way he was brought up. But then she does do something very insidious, in that she plants the seeds in John Cena's head. John Cena's friend, Head the Vigilante. She plants seeds in him to, the Peacemaker would be a lot better off if his father wasn't around. And Vigilante, who I'm going to assume isn't the sharpest tool in the box, hears this, possibly wrongly from his perspective, but decides, oh yeah, I'll go off him. I'll go kill him. So, you got a bit of, I said it was done nice, but I think they could have found a way to be more subtle with it. But, I say it's one of the more enjoyable aspects. While he's in prison, in jail, county jail, what correction centre this is as well as a police station, he goes up to Peacemaker's dad, and like I said, he's the grand poobah of some white supremacist fucking group, because you've got to have white supremacists in your shit, haven't you? You've got to have you've got to have your white people as bad. Your white men, your white women are all saviours. Your white men are bad. So off he goes into prison. He goes up to Peacemaker's dad, who is, having a chat with some of his boys, and the Vigilante provokes them. So they come at him and he deals with them very, very easily. It doesn't really work for me, because when you see the size of Vigilante and the size of these guys, it doesn't work. And if we're going to call out, women who are able to take these guys down when there's no way in hell they would do, we also got to, we've got to bring it in and argue the same thing when it's men doing it against other men. And it's like, no, you're not selling me on it. You're not selling me on it. I mean, again, there's lots of blocks and there's lots of manipulations and whatnot, but I'm just not seeing it. It was almost, it's not as bad, but it's almost like when you have Judo Master going up against John Cena, and it's a 4-foot fucking pygmy, whatever, against a fucking giant of John Cena, and it's like, again, I don't care how good your technique is or how much you can use someone's momentum against them. When you're a giant to this, it's not working. It looked, I can't think what it reminded me of. The nearest I can come up with is Kato from Pink Panther films. But I'm sure I've seen something with an annoying little green small dude, and he's able to, and I can't think of it. Think Tasmanian Devil, balls, that'll do it, That's what he looks like. He's like a and like I said, you're supposed to believe Judo Master can go through someone the size of John Cena like he's not even there. So they're having the fight, and then Diversity Hire, lesbian, shoots Judo Master in the chest. Just as he's about to reveal something. Now, she's quite a distance away. So did she shoot him because she thought Cena was in trouble? Or did she shoot him to keep him quiet? We don't know, because obviously he's out of commission for now. So them two fights didn't really gel for me. They were entertaining, especially the jail fight, because he baits the racist by a bit, asking him what the favourite thing of black culture was, and obviously it pisses him off. And he gets them to react, and all you see is them throwing punches at him, so they're the aggressors. It's well done, it's just not, I don't know if it's believable. We then have John Cena. He goes to meet Hardcore, the blonde woman, in a bar again. She tells him, like, what the fuck are you doing here? But he asks her for information about his childhood. I don't know whether he's got some kind of suppressed memories or not. It seems like they're hinting at that. Like he's suppressed it all. So she gives him a bit more information. there's a nice little moment where it's like, is that all you want? And he just turns around and goes, no, your tits look cracking in that top. But then they have this weird, you know, like, looking at each other moment, you know, not at the same time, but, you know, he looks at her while she's not looking, she looks at him as he leaves, you know, kid stuff. But, you know, like I said, and then we have, it's some kind of John Cena's Peacemaker gets high, and we get some kind of dream sequence, flashback thing to where he's stabbing a chap for some unknown reason with his dad stood next to him, and we get flashbacks of his brother being knocked to the ground, presumably dead. So, like I said, I think this show could have potential. It certainly dialed back the silliness, which is great, but I just wonder if the first 3 episodes would have put people off and they won't come back. Now, hopefully it'll carry on in this same vein where it's actually entertaining. I really hope, beyond hope, that it does, because this episode surprised me, and for all the right reasons this time. So, hopefully, it carries on, because like I said, there were large parts of this episode I enjoyed, and like I said in my last video about this, that's what we want. That's what I want. I want to be entertained. I want to turn on a show and think, wow, that was actually pretty good. You know, I casually browsing and I saw Wolf Like Me, 6-episode romantic drama comedy thing, and it was actually very good. It was a surprise because it's not something I'd have normally watched. I just clicked on because the title intrigued me, and the rest of it did the job for itself. So hopefully that the Peacemaker continues going down the route of episode 4, where it's not insufferable, where it's dialed back. I mean, still do your stupid attempts at humour for your teenagers and whatnot, but just keep it dialed back, and you've got the potential of a really good show here. And I'm not being hypocritical, because last week, the last 3 weeks I said was awful. I'm just saying I'm surprised, and I want to be surprised for good stuff. Anyway, that's all for today. Please like, share and subscribe. I'll see you all again. You can find me on social media. Ta-ra for now.